to us. He has a lot of experience. I know it's been brought up that he wasn't a superintendent before, but he was an assistant superintendent in one of the biggest districts in the state, which does say something. If you look at the superintendents that are being hired now, Howard's just hired one this week, came from being a principal. Alpine, these are small districts like ours. They were only a principal. When Dr. Bendov went to Riveridge, she was a principal, and she's great. But when we're talking about experience, Dr. Ansel has more experience than any of those people coming in. And I think we need to show him our appreciation. I think this board put in a lot of time with it. It was not, we met in closed session at least 2 or 3 times. It was not a flip decision. We looked to see what other districts had done. And we believe, he is worth paying this. We want him to stay. I'm trying to think if I have any other notes. I also do want to just emphasize there is no budgetary impact to our books. We just combined 2 lines. He is also not at the cap this year. The cap, he will go up to the cap next year. And just so you know how it works right now is any superintendent in the state must stay at the cap until they've been in the district for 3 years. At that time, after they've been in the district for 3 years, they can then increase 2% a year. And I believe that's what they did with Riveridge, because Dr. Bendov had already been there 3 years, so they were able to increase her salary. As an aside, actually, I believe the state is getting rid of all the caps. So that's a whole other discussion that's going to be taking place. But I'm going to open it up to the board now. If anybody on the board has any comments before we take a vote. Mr. Griffin?
I just want to say that this issue has brought up a lot of conversations, and I've had a lot of conversations with people on this board and also with the public about this. And I think what's important here is everyone that's in the public coming here tonight, that's huge. It's great that you're speaking out. It's great that you're sharing your opinions. I think every one of us need to be involved in these issues. I also think the people on this board have worked very hard. They're very smart people, working hard to make good decisions on this. Same is true for Greg Darian. He worked hard on this before. I think it's important for me to share my opinion on this in some form or fashion, and I feel very strongly that as a district, we need to do everything possible to keep good teachers, to keep good administrators, keep good staff people, and this is an example of that, and we should pay people appropriately and make those decisions quickly. There were lots of conversations that happened prior to me being on this board, 2 to 3 closed sessions that I was not a part of. So I will be abstaining from this vote, but not because I don't believe it's a good decision, just because I don't feel like I can personally have enough information on this. And the board has made good decisions in the past, and I trust they'll make a good decision again, but I will be abstaining on this issue.
Anyone else?
Just to clarify one thing, I think Ms. Duran said to be creative with how we would work perhaps a superintendent / principal. And we tried that back about 4 years ago. We hired Ms. Facendo. And she was worked to the bone. And she was spreading herself so thin, and she left in a year. So we tried that. We've spent numerous hours as a board, just since I've been here for the last 8 years, it seems, all the time looking to find the best fit. So I just wanted to clarify that. Also, as far as goals go and merit goals, we already have had in the past less than 3 months an update to the board by 3 of our district goals. So there again, Dr. Ansel and the administration are working very hard to keep this board informed. And we are demanding, and we appreciate what they're doing. So we are keeping them certainly on their toes.
You're demanding. Something else I think you reminded me that I'm glad you brought that up. We did try the superintendent / principal role. It doesn't always work. Other districts have tried it, they've left it, they've tried, all kinds of things, but again, I come back to, everyone says it's one building, it should be easier. It's definitely not. You have to look to see, even to our neighbor, this has come up before with the number of administrators and our high admin costs. So in Oradell, we have a superintendent, which River Edge does. We have a BA, which River Edge does. We have a director of special services, which River Edge does. Then we have a principal, and we have 2 assistant principals, which I believe River Edge has 2 or 3 principals, 2 principals. Do they have an assistant principal? 1 assistant principal, but then you have to remember, they have, what, 3 supervisors? Like, all right, so they have 3 supervisors. So there's a lot that goes on. So we do run as tight as we can, and we do not make these decisions quickly. We watch our pennies very quickly. You can ask Ms. Schoenberg, who's the first year with us now in the budget. Everything needs to be, oh, what did I say? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. I'm losing it, that's why. But you can ask Ms. Schoening, and you can ask actually Dr. Ansel, who's come to the committees for things, and it's never quick and easy. It's always a discussion as to why do you need it, what does it do for us, what are our kids going to get out of it. It's always well thought out. So I can assure you this decision has been well thought out. Is there anything else anybody else would like to say?
Yeah, to reiterate, every other town of our size has 2 schools. So we are a weird little animal with this one school. This is my 3rd year on the board, but I've had a child in the building for the past decade. And it's hard. It's hard seeing a revolving door. As a parent, seeing a revolving door, and this superintendent wants to come in and bring Mondo, and somebody else wants to come in and do something else. And it's a little bit unsettling, like, who's the superintendent today? Your child has no idea. And now as a board member, I've been to the rodeo several times with hiring, and we spend hours and hours, and all of Christmas vacation one year, interviewing a very wide cast of characters with not the experience, not you, but varying levels of experience. And you look at what we were offering, and it's an opportunity. We had this round a couple of very good candidates, and we put in a lot of work. It was very thoughtful. We are a tough crowd. We want the best for this town, for the taxpayer, for the children. And I think when it comes to this contract, this is the right thing to do. It's a thoughtful decision, and I do stand by it. And just to mention, you mentioned the new Howard superintendent. The last one was getting paid $135,000, jumped ship to Secaucus. I can say that because I'm from around here. We say Secaucus, not Secaucus. For $170, for a $35,000. I would jump ship for $35,000 too. I don't want to see a revolving door. We have a good superintendent, good staff, and it's time to focus now on our work.
Well, speaking of Howard, like I said, the person with the principal before, they brought him in at the max and gave him a 50% bonus, so he will be up around whatever. So it's difficult. It's difficult to find a good superintendent, hold them, so. Anything from this side of the table? We're good?
I think we've covered an awful lot. I will tell you that in the 26 years that I've been on the board, I have interviewed an awful lot of superintendents. And I am thankful to have Dr. Ansel. You were there, you might.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, I'd like Mrs. Robertson to make the motion as Chair of Personnel.
I make a motion for the resolution pursuant to NJSA 18A 11-12.
Second. I thank Mr. Walsh beat ya. So one last time for questions or discussion. Call the question.
Mr. Griffin?
Abstain?
Mrs. Norian?
Yes.
Mr. Odo? Yes. Mrs. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker? Yes. Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Dr. Westlake? Mrs. Robertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes. Some of you may just be disappointed, but I do thank you all for coming out because sometimes we're here by ourselves with one person, so we do like when the public does come to our meetings, and this is the way we can hear really what you want from us. So keep coming. And if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, it's fine. We will not be insulted if you leave.
Madam President, maybe we want to remind those that are here about the strategic planning that's coming up in case
Right.
anyone wants to run
In
out.
case you are going to run out, that is true. We do have our strategic planning. We're doing with the New Jersey School Boards Association. There will be 3 or 4 evenings. Yes, our last one got snowed out, so the first one will be March 22nd. And just so you're aware, you don't have to come to all of them. So if you can make it to one, can't come to another one, want to come to the last one, whichever one you can come to is fine. You know, the first one is kind of an oversight of everything. Everyone puts in their ideas, and as we get closer and closer, get more towards the goal of finishing. But yeah, spread the word. And it'll be March 22nd. We'll meet in here, right? The first night we meet in the auditorium. We'll go from here. And school boards will be running it. We'll be breaking into groups. I think we have about 30-something people signed up. About 38, not including the board or the admin team. So the more people that can come, the better. So thank you, Mrs. Walker, for reminding me. And at this point, I will turn it over to Dr. Ansel for his report.
Thank you. I already mentioned the White Ribbon Initiative. The one other item is that I wanted to notify the board that under administrative items that you are going to be asked to vote to affirm the decision and findings of HIB report number 2.9.18.4.
Thank you. Ms. Shoney, any report? Okay, we had a good finance meeting last night, so I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you soon. Okay, at this time, we're going to move to the minutes. We have a review of February 28th. Any comments or questions, please email our board secretary. And we are going to now approve the meeting minutes of February 14th. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Mrs. Walker, any questions? Call the question.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Noreen?
I abstain on the 14th, and yes, on the 20th.
It's just a review.
Oh, it's just a review, later. Sorry, abstain.
Mr. Oda? Yes. Mrs. Shapiro? Yes. Mrs. Walker? Yes. Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Dr. Westlake? Yes. Mrs. Robertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes, committee reports. We have one administrative item. Mr. Walsh, would you take that?
I move that we accept the HIB report, February 2000.
Do I have a second? Dr. Westlake, any questions? Call the question.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Noreen?
Yes.
Mr. Oda?
Yes.
Mrs. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker? Yes. Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Dr. Westlake? Mrs. Robertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes, buildings and grounds, Mr. Odom.
Like to invite a B1.
Dr. Westlake, second. Are there any questions? Call the question.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Noreen? Yes. Mr. Oda? Mrs. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker? Yes. Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Dr. Westlake? Mrs. Robinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes, curriculum, Mrs. Walker.
Thank you. I'd like to move C1 and 2.
Dr. Westlake, second. Any questions? Call the question.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Noreen?
Yes.
Mr. Oda?
Yes.
Mrs. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh? Dr. Westlake? Mrs. Robertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes, finance, Mrs. Shapiro.
I'd like to move items D1 through D4.
Second, Dr. Westlake. Any questions on finance? Call the question.
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Noreen?
Yes.
Mr. Oda?
Yes.
Mrs. Shapiro? Yes. Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Dr. Westlake?
Yes.
Mrs. Robertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Mrs. Nichols?
Yes, delegate report, Mr. Walsh?
I have no report.
Okay.
Honestly, it should
Did you put yourself on the agenda?
opportunity.
I know, but did you put yourself on for travel expenses?
I think I did.
All right, well, you did, okay. Dr. Ansel believes you did, okay. Where is it?
I want to say official middle school.
Okay. Personnel, Mrs. Robertson.
Yes, I'd like to present item 1A through 10. Yeah, 1 through 10, I should say.
Second.
Do we have any questions? Call the question?
Mr. Griffin?
Yes.
Mrs. Noreen?
Yes.
Mr. Odo?
Abstain.
Mrs. Shapiro? Yes. Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Dr. Westlake? Mrs. Robertson?
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes, policy, Mr. Griffin?
We had a great meeting yesterday, talked about an old business school activity funds that we're going to be adjusting, and there should be probably language at the next board meeting for that. Also discussed options for policy management systems that we are under consideration, and then a few other policies that we're going to be looking at, and you should hear more coming soon, but it was a great meeting.
Thank you. Mrs. Dorian, Public Relations?
We also had a meeting yesterday, and we reviewed some of the things with regards to our website and possible phone app, an update on the Board of Ed photo, and our next edition on INOPS. And thank you, Mrs. Walker, for bringing up strategic planning, because we had discussed that again, trying to reach out to more individuals in the community. You'll get the compilation or the minutes from that meeting probably by the next packet. Wouldn't you say, Dr. Ansel?
Thank you. Tri-District, Dr. Westlake. Open to the public for those who don't know, open to the public for any items you wish to discuss.
Robin Levy again, 700 Orchard Street. I don't want to beat a dead horse, and I'm so happy to hear that there's been an agreement between the teachers. And I'm glad that the amended contract has been approved. I just want to say that the tone and the way in which you talked about needing consistency at the top and you wanting to keep good people, I hope that's really something that you guys take as you enter this next contract negotiations with the teachers. It got really, really contentious, and as a parent and as someone who's involved in the community and as a parent of 2 students in the school, it was really upsetting to see that. So I hope the same care and thought in terms of how you present on the public face and how you sort of defended the reason that this contract needed to be amended and how you want to keep good people and you want to have people who don't want to leave, or when you talked about other schools that someone wanted to advance and they weren't going to advance to take a pay cut. Well, a lot of the same things were the arguments that we heard from teachers when we come during the contract negotiations. So all I just ask is that when as you enter the next phase, that you take everything that you said tonight and talk about the superintendent and take that into consideration when you're negotiating the teacher contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will move to old business or new business.
Excuse me, Mrs. Nichols? You asked me about your vote. on
Yes,
minutes.
what did I vote?
You voted yes.
Okay,
Change it
I
to
need to
abstain.
change, yeah, abstain for February 14th. I'm losing it tonight. I was not here.
Thank you, sorry about that. Old business or new business?
I do. Okay, so for new business, the PTA has reached out for the ad for the memory book. We typically do a full-page ad, and somehow I inherited that from. So I'm happy if it's something that we collect, we pay
Right.
for personally $20 per board member and superintendent. If you're interested in contributing, it's $20 each. I'm happy to collect and submit that and coordinate with the PTA.
Good, I'm glad you remembered.
I have a old business. It's been a while, but we had the Read Across America, was it like 10 days ago now? And many members of the community were invited, the mayor, the members of the council, board members, and I got to read to a couple of first grade classes. And if you ever want to feel like the Beatles landing at JFK, just go into Miss Guinan's first grade class. Oh my God, I went in and they were like, oh my God, she's here. Now maybe because I've known some of them since they were in utero, but it was the cutest thing in the whole world. Reading to a first grade class was more fun than I ever imagined. Thank you so much for letting me do that. Please, anytime, happy to do it again. It was great. It was so much fun. I have one more. This is, I don't know if it's not really board business, but a personal that I've mentioned at a board meeting before, something that I've coordinated with the middle school is Daryl Strawberry is coming to speak to middle school and high school students in 2 Wednesdays. Wednesday, March 28th, 7:30 p.m. at Riverdale Middle School. He will be doing a book signing, and he's talking about struggles with addiction. He's an amazing speaker. He's actually coming to both districts for free, which is like phenomenal. He's just so generous with his time, and he's such a good guy. I'll have some flyers out over here if anybody would like to take one. I invite everybody to come, except too many members of the board, because then we won't have a quorum. Thank you.
Mrs. Walker?
I just had a couple of things. One, thank you to Ms. Bazios and all of the teachers who went out of their way for the White Ribbon Day. I happened to be up in the school yesterday seeing all the doves flying and all of the children's expression of peace and what makes life peaceful. I think these are the things that make OPS such a special place. So thank you, teachers, for taking the time to do that, and administrators for assisting PTA for the White Ribbon. It certainly makes us proud. Number 2, at the last board meeting, I emailed about the light out over the front porch. Thank you, Dr. Ansel and Kevin. I came in the next day to read to the students for Dr. Seuss, and the light was burning outside, big and beautiful, that beautiful lantern over the front door. So I wish my husband worked as quickly for requests, so thank you. And the third thing, John, the Odyssey of the Mind, are they going to be practicing this week after school? Or not, well, tomorrow's Friday. Oh,
It's this weekend. It's this weekend, right?
Will they be there tomorrow?
The competition is Saturday.
They will, because I stopped in just for the board's information last year to see them practicing in one of the multi-purpose rooms. And they were there.
Is this the first round? So first round.
Yeah, but the kids love it, so if you get a chance just in the afternoon.
Where are they?
Multi-purpose room, right?
And just to piggyback on that, I know Ms. Shawn likes when board members or adults come in, because then the students get to practice speaking, and that's really good practice for them. So I did it last year too. I stopped in.
That's all, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I just want to thank our custodial staff for banging up John last week and clearing the snow. I think, we often forget that they're working late into the night and early in the morning to clear our paths and parking lots in summer. So I just wanted to thank them for their efforts.
Someone said to me, the school was the cleanest place in Oradell. I don't know if that was true, but it sounded good. Mr. Griffin?
I just wanted to add on to how amazing I think these ribbons are and how great it is that the school did that. I have such pride today as the board passed the resolution. You know, a month ago in a day, there was that horrible tragedy in Florida, and on the school walk out there, I happened to be in Columbia University with a group of 60 other nonprofit executive directors. And they decided, since we were all students that day, we were going to walk out too. And we were part of a protest or a movement, part of that big movement that started with kids standing up for something. And we stood there on the steps of the library of Columbia University, and it was just us. And then it almost doubled in that 17 minutes as we remembered those people's lives that were lost, and we remembered that we have power to do something about it. And I have to tell you, it's been amazing to me talking with the other board members about this resolution, and I know it's just a resolution and we don't change anything here. But our school does the right thing. Our school fights for peace. Our school fights to protect our kids. It matters a ton, and it's a proud moment for me to stand here when we pass that. I just want to say that.
I'm just going to piggyback on something Mr. Griffin said. We don't talk about security here a lot because a lot of it is confidential, but I think the public should know that Oradell Public, the board at Oradell Public has put a lot of thought into it, and we are way ahead of many other schools. When the Sandy Hook shooting took place, the prosecutor's office went to most of the schools in Bergen County, if you know, whoever would let them in, and then they, you know, met us. We did a combined meeting with Riverdale and River Edge, and they gave us their suggestions, and pretty much, you know, we were heads and tails above many districts in the county, and we had pretty much done almost all the things they had said on there. There's a lot of things in this building that parents aren't aware of, that we don't talk about, but I think the public should be aware that all the time, the kids are our #1 priority in this building, every decision we make for them, and we are very, very concerned with security in this building. So I think I'm glad you said that. Anybody else?
I have one more thing. You know, you mentioned earlier with having, you know, it's so nice to have people in the public here. And I think on top of us finding out, you know, what their opinions are, I think it also really helps to get to know us and ask questions, and I think it builds a good rapport. And I know that as a young parent, I came to a lot of board meetings. I was part of we became groupies, and I knew absolutely nothing about how the school was run, and we were like terrified to ask questions. And I encourage everybody to come ask questions. And as you get to know us, you see that while you only see us here twice a month, we're constantly working, constantly asking questions, constantly evaluating the budget, and making sure that we do the right thing for the kids. So thank you for coming tonight, and please come as much and as frequently as you'd like.
Mrs. Shapiro doesn't like it when I say this, but yes, she and her groupies came to our board meetings for a good 3, 4, 5 years, sat in the back, and hated us. She hated us. But now, we love her. Different perspective, I guess, right?
We do a lot of work.
It was tough.
And
You were tough on us.
I'll tell you,
You were tough.
I'll tell you, it's so funny, the topic that brought me here is now like so ancient history. But I'll tell you from a couple of years here, people have no, and what you don't know, we will know, is how much time you spend. You, every single
All of
day,
us.
but you specifically. Not one day goes by that you don't work on board business, that you're not speaking to a lawyer, an accountant,
Dr. Ansel loves
superintendent.
me.
But you spend
Boswell
quite
loves me.
a bit of time, and I really wanted to acknowledge that because you have so much experience, and you know, even though I'm only on year 3, it takes so much time and energy to learn how everything is done, and we're learning, we're evolving, and you know, you do a great job.
Thank you. But I'm going to say, everyone on this board works hard. Everyone on this board is invested. I have friends on other boards, actually, and you know, they come, they go, they vote. There's really nothing going on. But I have to say, everyone on this board is very invested in the children in this school. It's always our #1 priority. That's it. And I know some people, you know, you see things on Facebook, you see things everywhere. Me personally, I know I can speak for Christine also, I can't speak for the whole board, but When people, you know, talk bad about us on Facebook, et cetera, wherever, a lot of it, you know, they don't know the facts, but for me personally, in my heart, if I know I made the right decision for the children, I sleep well. And I know Christine has been here a long time, and I know everyone else on the board, I think, feels the same way. Anyone else?
It's the salary that really keeps us working.
Yes, we do work for the big bucks. Anybody else? Any need to go into a closed session? Ms. Alvaro, was this one of the fastest meetings you've been in? Say, we move it. Okay, if no other comments, do I have a motion to adjourn? Dr. Westlake? Mrs. Norian, and all in favor? Aye. Okay, everyone have a good week and come to strategic planning next week.